Good evening. Happy Tuesday night to everybody. I'm Dr. Molly, and today on my little live broadcast, I thought I would talk about arthritis, because arthritis is talked about all the time. And there's an entire part of the prescription aisle that is dedicated to getting rid of arthritic pain. There's all sorts of joint stuff that you can rub on your joints to help you reduce that pain. So I thought I would kind of go into why physical therapy is also something that you should consider when you're talking about arthritic pain. So arthritis, just in a short version, is the breakdown of the cartilage between the two joints. So if you're talking about your knee, you have cartilage on the femur and then the cartilage on the tibia, and it helps with the buffering, right? Or like the compression factors, right? So it helps to keep it from being bone on bone. And then what happens with arthritis is that cartilage is being broken down. Now there are several reasons that can happen, but normally it's already happened, and so now what do you do with it? So that's kind of the bigger problem, right? So do you want to have to be told to take anti-inflammatories for the rest of your life? Do you want to have to constantly rub joint ointment? Because having arthritis is kind of part of the general aging process to a certain extent. A lot of people have more degeneration in their joints than they should for their age, which is where the problems start to really become an issue. But there are some things that you can do, thankfully, from your home that can slow that process down. So one thing that's often not talked about is how your body naturally handles that breakdown, right? Because I just said that it's kind of part of the normal aging process, so you figure that there's something built in to kind of counteract the whole breakdown of that cartilage, and that is your synovial fluid. So you have a synovial sac that surrounds your joint. In my blog post, I'll actually have a picture of that, so if you're curious what that looks like, I'll just leave the link for my blog post, and it'll have a picture kind of depicting all of these things. I'm a very visual person normally, so that would help me. So I have that up there for you guys. But so with that synovial fluid, the way that it gets into your joint is by resting and compressing. So basically moving your joint, bending, flexing, sitting, standing. That's how you pump all the good nutrition into your joint. That's how, instead of having blood flow, your joint uses synovial fluid. So the synovial fluid carries all the stuff that helps build that cartilage back up and keep everything lubricated, and then it helps flush all of the inflammatory process and all of the junk out of your joint. And that fluid travels into and out of your joint when you are moving and active and bending and stretching and just utilizing your joint in your normal everyday life. So then the idea that people are often told to not move that much or to watch what they're doing while if they have arthritis, some of that is meant out of a good place, because obviously if moving is hurting, they don't want you to hurt yourself. But you need to learn how to do it safely, right? You need to learn how to get that joint to move more efficiently. Because a lot of times what's happened is that instead of using the whole joint space, people are only using 50% because maybe their muscles are really tight, or one muscle is pulling stronger than another, and so there's a little bit of imbalance. And so being able to correct that, just like you would with your tire, right? So if you're only riding on one part of your tire, then you're gonna have problems, right? So to get even wear, you want to have your tire hit the whole surface of your tire hit the ground, right? So that way you don't have uneven wearing of your the traction or in your tire, right? It's the same type of thing, because you don't want one part of your cartilage to completely be worn through and the rest to be pristine, right? You want everything to kind of wear, because it'll just keep everything from wearing down at different rates. And reduce the chances that you're going to have pain with your arthritis. So if you've just been told that you have arthritis and that you shouldn't run or you shouldn't do whatever your favorite activity is. Maybe you might need a break from that activity to work on stretching at home, maybe go to a yoga class or a Pilates class to learn how to elongate those muscles in the joint space. Or if you've tried those things and they have not been successful, then having a physical therapist put their hands, because we'll put their hands on your joint and try to see what's actually going on, feel exactly what's tight, what's not working, what's not pulling correctly, and then come up and then watch you move as a whole. And once you get all of that information, then you can really help specialize a program for somebody to make sure that they can get back to all the activities that they want, right? So there's a reason if you have arthritis that is developing more aggressively in that joint. So having a plan for how to stop that progression and to move through that is very, very important. And keeping you doing all the activities that you want to be able to do. So again, I will leave the link for the picture for the arthritis in my blog post, and that will be in the notes underneath. And I hope that this information was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, anything, constructive criticism is always appreciated. Then just leave it in the notes below. If you like this, then by all means like it. And if you want to share it, please share it. Let's get the word out. Arthritis does not have to mean that you're stuck on the couch for the rest of your life. You have a good Tuesday.